This used to be the high-profile week for gaming in years gone by. E3 would normally be or just about kicking into full gear or in full swing right now. But yeah, the games industry at the AAA level, it's kind of dying on the vine. So you just kind of have these disparate live streams popping up at different points. You have Microsoft's doing something. I'm not entirely sure when this video's coming out. So I think they're dropping their E3 equivalent as a part of Summer Games Fest, which is the Dorito Pope, Jeff Keighley's little gimmick. So they're doing a live stream showing you, I don't know, some other gay person to present the new Indiana Jones game. Really looking forward to that, Bethesda. I'm sure it's not going to be another flop for you. 3 in a row, couldn't hurt anybody. They'll probably close another studio in celebration. And then other panels that are also supposed to be out there, Latino games and women-led games. It's like, have you taken a look at the industry? It's all women-led, and that's why the AAA game space sucks. Yeah, you have those. I think Nintendo's dropping a direct sometime in the future. They never really, plan that stuff out too far in the future. They at least would do it around E3 time after they officially got out of doing the full stage presentations, which were always so fun. They were never really consistently good for Nintendo, but hey man, who could ever forget Shigeru Miyamoto spurting out on stage debuting Wii music? That's great. I used to love the Nintendo on-stage presentations, or having the endless meme factory of Reggie Fils-Aimé coming out and saying, "My body is ready." Like, we're really missing out on that stuff. Was back when the games industry is fun, but now it's serious business, okay? So yeah, and outside of maybe a couple of Final Fantasy PC ports, it's just mostly going to be memes and looking at stuff to dunk on for next week when it comes to anything coming out of Summer Game Fest. But Sony kicked off the festivities at the end of last week, okay? May 30th or something like that was when they had their State of Play 30 minutes of forgettable fare. We talked about the Silent Hill Backlash, or Silent Hill 2 Backlash, sorry. I want to get specific. I wouldn't want to, dead name a project before it's dead on arrival. Something else that was a big takeaway was a new hero shooter from Sony. It's like, what did I just wake up? Did I just wake up and it's 2014 all over again? Oh my god. Yeah, one of the big games that was debuted was Concord by Firewalk Studios. I've never heard of Firewalk Studios. And chances are, outside of its release and probably its abysmal reception, nobody's going to know anything about Concord. It's just going to be another step along the self-immolation of Sony. God, man, who would have thought back in the cut when you were playing Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Siphon Filter, the original Final Fantasy VII, that we'd get to a point in time where you have a belabored genre being drug out by a zombie company telling you to care about the strong and empowered black woman who's going to go ahead and have such hero powers as making a fuss at the cash register, knocking the gum and Mentos out of the impulse buy racks because nobody wants to accept her week old coupon. Like, this is it's gonna set the industry on fire, guys. I just, maybe I'm judging a book by its cover, and this is gonna be the Overwatch 2 that Overwatch 2 just never could realize. A new rumor claims video game developer Firewalk Studios is shrugging off criticism of its upcoming game, Concord. The game has been lampooned by potential players for ugly character designs, including pronoun nonsense. Oh yeah, of course, as you can see it right there in the corner. It's her name is Amari, sure, and she's a she/her. Yeah, we can tell because there's only a certain amount of disgust that can be portrayed by somebody without it, of course, being the black female. And then we have this thing, which unironically I just thought was this Amari character with a additional armor panel over its face. It's like, okay, but that's a he/him one-off. Cool. Gonna be like seasons of this live service game. It's gonna be a one-off. Sweet Baby Inc. detected and DI detected creator Cabrutus Rambo, shout out Cabrutus, shared his thoughts on the game's inclusion of pronouns, writing on X. So the F robot, has pronouns. Okay, the next Sony game. Okay, maybe that's supposed to be effing robot, I'd imagine. He's Brazilian after all, even though he gets accusations by stupid games journalists of being the biggest perpetuator of white supremacy. Whatever. Ex-user Mangaloyer. Oh yeah, shout out to him. Also, Lampoon, the game's character designs, reacting to one character called Amari. Oh my god, finally, literally a playable tank. Lol. YouTuber Endymion also stated PlayStation's new Hero 5v5 PvP shooter Concord is full of diverse character designs, and they even have pronouns listed in their name. See the top right. Who is this game for exactly? I'm sure you're going to tell us in one of your flashy thumbnails with one word at the bottom of it. Along with the game's character designs and inclusion of pronoun nonsense, many have criticized it for being another 5v5 hero shooter in the vein of Valorant and Overwatch. And oh boy, I got a video coming out on Valorant very, very soon because they have their own brand of stupidity that they're playing into. But like I said, more on that later. PlayStation's YouTube channel, a video featuring gameplay of for the game, has over 350,000 views, which for a Sony first-person game, those used to be something called popular, but 350,000 views, that's not great. Also has 44,000 downvotes to 5,000 upvotes. Oh yeah, this game's not going well. Nope. But don't worry, guys. Despite the negative feedback, the former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, Grums, shout out once again. Oh my God, all these shout outs. It's approaching a Wu-Tang Clan concert. Okay. Reports that his sources have informed him that Firewalk Studios is shrugging off the negative feedback because doing all this stuff, including Lark, who's undecided. Where it's like, yeah, it's an alien. What do we care about this in a hero shooter? Like, what are we doing? Have a voice, make them an alien. It doesn't matter, man. This is why all of this stuff is, it's just so tiring. Okay, who gives a shit what you want to do or what you think you want to do with your junk? Okay, these are unremarkable people trying to find remarkable characteristics without having to do literally anything. These are the laziest people in the world trying to get a participation trophy for being unique and special because that's what they've been told they are throughout their entire life. These are the dregs of society, and because they've just been yesed along throughout their entire life thanks to stupid DEI hiring policies, they get into these positions of power and they take out their years of frustration on everybody else. And now we've got to a point where there's so many of these people in all of these companies. Well, there's a reason that everything is failing around us because these untalented hacks put their own personal politics into everything. And guess what? Nobody wants to engage with this bullshit anymore, focusing so much on personal identity and a personal gender and sexual expression. Nobody cares, bro. They just want to blow the things up. I want to have to worry about where their character sticks their dingling, okay? Jesus, you want to make a game about firearms and deep throating? Make a Kurt Cobain simulator. He added, sources tell me internal emails show the Concord team is shrugging off the criticism of their characters as white noise and dismissing it very much in their own bubble. Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to backfire tremendously on them. And, well, they're doubling down on it. So is this going to make, I don't know how much this is ultimately going to cost Sony or anything like that. It's just how, on a scale of 1 to Suicide Squad kill the Justice League, how bad is this going to be when it ultimately launches? Concord lead character designer believes whites must acknowledge their privileged position and they actively work for equality. Let's look at the character listing once again. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of equality there. A lot of aliens and a lot of brown women. A lot of equality, right? And then actively, yes, work for equality. Also claims the judicial system is white supremacy. Yeah, this is what I want to hear from a video game developer. This is supposed to be gaming, guys. John Wisniewski, shocker, the lead character designer for Firewalk Studios, the developer of the recently announced Concord game, is a woke activist that buys into the claim that white people are privileged. Yeah, exactly, because you take a look at basically every industry right now, and you can count literally, you line up all of the heads, all of the creatives in every single medium, and you could count on one hand the number of straight white people that are out there. David Zaslav at Warner Brothers, that's about the only name that comes to mind. Everybody else, well, I guess they don't have privilege to check, right? Following PlayStation showcasing Concord as part of the most recent State of Play video at the end of May, the game's character designs were mocked across the internet. Well, yeah, of course. And this is Reddit. If Reddit's even dunking on you for ugly character designs, I mean, bro, your game is DOA, brother. 13,000 upvotes? So that's just not like some fringe post over on Reddit, okay, that likes to get cherry-picked by certain outlets. That's 13,000 upvotes, okay, on a platform that is actively dying. That's that's something, brother. Others agreed. One user wrote, yeah, I'm not too keen on the character design either, but I'm also tired of the Pixar toon look, yeah, that most team shooters have had since like 2007. I mean, for as much as the games industry got shit for having Gears of War and different, brown third-person cover shooters, you had the overly jacked brown and gray military shooters, that's so bad. I mean, yeah, highly stylized, toon characters, the female with a bow, the female with a side shave. I think that we've been dealing with that for the guts of 2 decades at this point. Give me your Gears of War knockoffs, okay? 10 times as opposed to your Forspokens and later day Tomb Raiders. Like, we could do without, okay? What was actually advancing the industry, okay, and what has ground it to a halt? Riddle me that. Still another posted, piss yellow, moldy green, wine purple, blue lipstick. Who the fuck thought this was an acceptable color palette? Needs to go. Well, that would be the guy that says that white people are to blame for everything. Where it's like, this is the only time that you hear dumb shit like this repeated time and time again is by the people that think that this is what gamers should want. Not what they actually want, okay? Because they're only just pushing their own agenda. It's never going to be popular. This game is going to be forgotten quicker than it actually releases. The only time that it's going to make headlines is when it gets released, everybody mocks it, and then just points to how few people are actually playing this dog shit. But yeah, you only hear from this from Western developers. I'll go ahead and shout it out again because it's a video game subject, so I got to bring it up. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they don't do this stuff, okay? The developers, the team behind it, they talk about the game. They talk about part 3. They talk about stories, the interpretations, okay? The fan theories behind it. It's almost like they're actually proud about their game. They're proud about the reach of the game. I got to talk about, those sales figures that are out there where, you have Rebirth, the 5th best-selling game of the year, ahead of other games that have actually released some sales data, leading to me to believe that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth being a flop. Not quite true when you have Tekken that's behind it on the list. I do believe them coming out and saying that they've sold, I think, and it also launched at the beginning of the year, and that was during the same point in time that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was out there, saying that they sold 8 million copies, which if we can go back and look at that list, and if we ultimately do get a Rebirth PC port by the end of the year, I can tell you at least one sale that it's going to get, okay? But yeah, that ended up being, probably won't end up reaching Helldivers numbers, but could end up being the second best selling game of the year. And you know why? Because the people that played it, the people that are actually dumb enough to have a PS5, aren't being attacked by the creators, aren't being told how bad they are just simply because of their immutable characteristics. I don't care if there's a black person in the game. I don't care if there's a fat person in the game. Just don't tell me that I need to play the game because they have black fat people in it. I don't care. Nobody cares. Freaks care about that stuff. And guess what? Those freaks, they don't even know how to pirate your game, let alone buy it legally. There is no modern audience. You're chasing after ghosts. You're making games for your peers. And I hope you can eat those digital copies because otherwise you're going to starve to death because your game ain't going to make a fucking dime. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.